Hey, you. Are you someone who aspires to write, or maybe you're already a writer and you have been for a while now, but you aren't yet able to really get to work on that book that you've been dying to write or that screenplay you've been thinking about for years now? Tell me if this resonates. Many frustrated creatives struggle to find the time to write in the midst of all the lifiness of life: work, parenting, laundry, meetings, dentist appointments. But it's not just that, because even if you do find the time to get to your writing, the time can become this oppressive thing where the inner swirl creeps up, challenging your belief in yourself. And you start to question the project you're even working on. And it would be so much easier to just scroll the internet some more rather than do the thing you've been wanting to do. But now that there's a chance to do it, it just feels daunting and overwhelming and exhausting and too dang hard to even really start. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, you really start to feel bad about yourself for not writing, for not using the time well, for wasting the opportunity. So the next time some time to write becomes available, it feels really high stakes because you know how easy it is to get caught in the overwhelm. And all you want is to find that flow, to live inside the stories, to create those characters, craft those poems, and paint that story. I feel you. It is so painful to love something like writing and to also feel crushed by the things getting in the way of actually being able to do it. What if there was a way to create less overwhelm and more possibility? A way to get some of the things that are in your way out of the way. Everyone knows about writer's block as an idea. We kind of romanticize it as a concept. I want to talk about something much bigger than writer's block. There are very real outer and inner blocks that each and every writer encounters at some point in their journey, maybe at every point in their journey. There are two kinds of blocks: outer blocks and inner blocks. Outer blocks are those things physically outside you. Outer blocks are things like finding time in your schedule to write, having the physical energy for writing, having a laptop that works, having the perfect pen. Inner blocks are those things inside you, things like that inner swirl that comes up when you do find the time to write, the self-doubt that can keep you from even starting. Those are inner blocks. And until you can get really clear on what your personal inner blocks and outer blocks are, you can't start to solve for them. So identifying those personal blocks and starting to shift them so that you can write like you've wanted to write is possible. And it is so powerful. Imagine finding the time to write and sitting down to get started and having a set of tools that quiet the inner swirl, get clear on what you want to write, and then writing and having it feel really good. And then doing it again and again and again until you've taken a project from that first baby idea to all the way complete, ready to share with the world, and even having what you need to share it and to feel good about that part of the process too. What would that create for you? How would that feel? Imagine how that would color the rest of your day, your week, your interactions with others, even your presence at work, your presence as a parent. I'm Kristen Rice. I'm a creative writer. I'm the kind of creative writer who's always had a day job to be able to write, the kind of writer that has some publications in the world, but you probably haven't heard of me unless you already know me personally. I'm a parent doing the tricky balance of showing up for my kid in a way that I feel proud of, while also tending to my business, tending to my relationships, tending to my writing. I'm also an empowerment coach, and it's through my journey into coaching and learning how to help shift inner and outer blocks for people, with people, so that they can live the lives they want to live. It's through that I've discovered this whole new toolkit to approach the writing process with. Let me share just one simple tool with you right now. This is a tool you get to use for yourself to help you in the writing process. And bonus, it's even a tool you can use in the characters you are creating, in the stories you are crafting, in the memoir you're exploring, the poems you're developing. You get the idea. This is what I call an empowerment tool for every writer. Here's the tool. Challenge the assumption. An assumption is an expectation you have based on something that has happened in the past. For instance, the last time I sat down to write, it went so bad and I didn't get more than a sentence out before giving up. And I feel so awful about that lost time. The assumption would be that the next time I sit down to write, the very same thing will happen, just because that's how it happened before, or has happened many times before. It's the belief that it will almost certainly happen again, because it has happened in the past. But when you challenge the assumptions, you get to question if that's true. Is it true that just because something happened in the past means it will absolutely necessarily happen again? And if you, say for instance, have a new tool in your empowered writer toolkit, you've already changed the dynamics at play to create a new possible outcome. Not to mention, it's a new day, you're an ever-evolving human being, and you're bringing a new day's worth of perspective, experience, input into this new writing session. So there's no reason it has to be like it was the last time, unless you make all those same choices. You have a new tool, so you have new choices to work with. And do you want to hear something extra crazy? You can use the idea of challenging assumptions in your storytelling, in your writing, in your character creation, because your characters are absolutely capable of walking around with their own assumptions, and those assumptions are going to influence the story. So you can use assumptions on purpose as you craft your screenplay, as you develop your graphic novel, as you do something new in a poem or an essay. So now you have a tool to use for you, the writer, you approaching the writing session, and you have a tool that you can use to flesh out a character or build out a story in an entirely new way. That was just one empowerment tool that is now yours to use in your writing and in your writing process. Challenge the assumptions. In my next video, we'll look at outer block, an outer block that might be getting in the way of writing the things you really want to be writing. And I'll show you another tool that might help. For now, leave me a comment below. Tell me what kinds of things do you like to write? What do you wish you could start writing? Is it a novel, a memoir, poetry? I would love to hear. Put a comment in. Let me know, what kind of writing is it that you're drawn to?